What's up, guys? It's me, Jeremy, and today I've got another vlog. Doing it with just a little bit of stubble today. Like I said earlier, I like to mix it up. Did the first one with no beard, did the second one with the full beard, and today I'm doing it with somewhere in between. So anyways, as LoL Replay is still unfortunately broken, I'm kind of being forced to do these vlogs for you guys because I want to try to put out a video every other day from now on. I think that's a really good goal for me to reach, and it's something that I think will be really fun for everyone. Anyways, today's vlog is about a quote from Alex Ish a while back. It's a quote, I'm not exactly sure where it comes from, but I'm fairly certain that it's from Alex Ish, and he says that, quote, "Only scrubs fall off late game." And I think that that quote is actually completely true, despite what everyone's going to tell you. Because the fact is that any champion in the entire game will always find a way to contribute during the late game in team fights. For example, one of the most major champions that people say fall off late game is Shaco, right? And the thing is, like, on Shaco, you can build like a little bit of damage and a little bit of health and actually play a support role in team fights late game, where you just try to kite for your AD carry, and you will actually contribute extremely well, as if you were just any other jungler, where instead of trying to dive your opponent's carry, you just protect your own and kill the tanks. And when a team has multiple players other than just the support and AD carry trying to kill tanks, it can actually work out really well, as the AD carry will survive the fight completely, and their positioning will be phenomenal, as well as the fact that you can just kill their tanks and then kill their carries, because their carries are either out of position because you're so far in the back lines as well, or they're just hitting you instead of the AD carry, so it's totally fine. And people say, oh, he's like useless in team fights, but no, he's really not. You just need to change your role. Like, okay, during the mid game, you might play like an assassin role, but during the late game, your role will change, and that's something that people don't really understand. And even if you are having a hard time executing your role, what you can actually do is make plays outside of team fights. Like, majorly just split pushing is a big one, and also just like making calls and setting up plays. But I think the thing is, like, champions, there's no such thing as a champion that falls off late game. Like, if you're falling off late game, you're not playing your champion correctly in the late game. Like, you're either your build is wrong, or your play style is wrong, what you're doing is wrong. It's just, champions just don't fall off late game. I think the Shaco example is pretty good, and it can definitely be applied to a lot of situations. One major, like I said, one of the major things you can do when you think your champion falls off late game is just switch from playing an assassin role or whatever role you were playing to start playing a support role in team fights, where you just try to protect your AD carry, because AD carries are, of course, the king of late game, and if you can just protect that and keep your AD carry alive, then you'll do fine, and you'll contribute very strongly to your team in late game. But if you think you're falling off late game, and you think you're weak and not contributing during late game, you're probably not contributing as much as you can, or as much as you should be. So even though contributing late game on some champions might be a little bit harder, if you perform it correctly and if your build is correct, like if you go Shaco and you build like full AD carry, yeah, you're going to fall off late game because you're just going to get two-shotted, because you're a melee AD carry, and melee AD carries don't really fit the meta right now because they can just get two-shotted by tanks. But if you build like a Warmogs, a Sunfire Cape, and then like a Static Shiv, I mean, I'm not a Shaco player, so that's not an exact build. Don't quote me on that. That's just an example. But if you build like a little bit of tank items, and then a little bit of DPS items, or even just full tank, then you will definitely be able to contribute very strongly to team fights in the late game. And that's really all I wanted to say about this topic. I think players need to have a much more positive attitude about late game. I think the quote that, oh, we have the late game, will work for really just any team comp no matter what, because if you're behind, then you're going to have the late game no matter what, because your late game will be better than what your current game is now. And that's really what the quote, "we have a better late game," actually means, is that our status in the game is going to get better in the late game, not we're going to win 100% late game no matter what, because that's really not true. In the late game, like, you get caught once, you're dead, you lose the game. That's just how it is. Like, oh, a couple of wards can just win you the entire game like 50 minutes in. And I think that's something a lot of players really need to understand, is the fact that having a better late, like, every single composition of champions in the entire game has a better late game if you are currently behind, because your late game will be better than what you are now in the game currently. And I think Alex Issa's quote really sums up that concept, and it's something that's very important that players really need to start to understand. And even though this vlog is a little bit shorter than the other ones, I think the concept is just equally as important. So that's it for this vlog, and hopefully LoL Replay will get fixed in the future so I can make more videos that are not, that use game footage, so like guides and stuff. And I want to start to actually try to put out a video every other day from now on, because personally for me, I think making videos is very fun, and everybody seems to like my stuff, so it's fun for you guys, I guess, as well. And overall, it's just really great. So if you guys have any questions or would love to discuss this topic, leave a comment. I'd love to discuss this video in the comments with you as well. I think I just repeated myself there. Anyways, the last 2 videos, I've really stepped up how much I'm commenting on videos, and it's really been a ton of fun for me, as well as just for, hopefully, for the people that are getting their comments replied to. So any questions, any feedback, any just topics you want to discuss, oh, I bumped my water bottle a little bit there, you want to discuss, just send me a comment. I'll hook you up right away with an answer as soon as possible. I'd love it if you guys could support me with a like, and if you enjoy this video and like to see more awesome content in the future, of course, please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.